Hello everyone. Myself Vibhor Shukla, and I welcome you all to week 4 of uh, basic uh, basic entrepreneurship for engineers. And this week we studied about a case study of Verloop, and I'll be reading along it with you today. So, what's Verloop? Verloop is a conversational AI company. It helps business automate and scale their customer support using chatbots. Founder's journey is the founder Gaurav Singh grew up in Riva, and that's in Madhya Pradesh. And from a young age, he was passionate about computers and coding. By college, he was already running an agency providing developers to clients, etc. Which means he was an um, early entrepreneur, and he already had this entrepreneurship um, passion in him. Later, he joined TCS as an engineer, but soon identified inefficiencies in the system for customer support. This led to the birth of the Weaver loop. So the problem statement which Gaurav identified was um, simple but critical. That was the customer support was slow, manual, and highly dependent on PBOs. Customer had to either wait in a long call queues or send mails with long response times, which was really time taking and majorly a wastage of companies' money and people and resources. Many of these issues were repetitive and didn't really need human involvement. Like many tasks can be automated. For example, the standard procedural instruction, giving someone a standard procedural instruction like how to fix your phone. Generally, 80% of cases, you don't actually need a really niche knowledge about a phone, but there are certain protocols using which you can fix the phone. So you don't need a human to tell others like how to fix a phone if it isn't really very niche. Right, so he identified these inefficiencies in the already existing customer support. So what he did was he resegmented the market. The market for the customer support already existed long before him. But what he did was he gave it a new path. He resegmented the market. Okay. These inefficiencies became the starting point of Verloop's idea. So the inception of Verloop was, at first, Verloop began as a B2C business to client virtual assistant to simplify tasks like booking rides or making grocery lists. But the Indian market wasn't ready for such assistant at that time. So Gaurav pivoted to business. This indicates how he pivoted. Pivot is a really emphasizing word here. How he changed the his customer, his audience, his consumers, right? How we changed the perspective of serving them. Many companies which failed to pivot failed. One of the best example is Anil Ambani, which failed to adapt to the rising market of 4G in India. That's why he failed. He didn't pivot at the right time. Same for Idea and Vodafone. But Gaurav didn't do this mistake, and he did pivot at the right time from B2C to B2B because Indian market wasn't ready. And then he started when Gaurav pivoted to B2B, he started building chatbots that automated customer support. The vision was to become the operating system for customer support, connecting brands with their consumer across platforms like WhatsApp, Instagram, Messenger, Telegram, and many more. Early market and early customers. When entering the market, Verloop used a smart strategy. They segmented industries based on two factors: the amount of customer data generated and how fast they could adopt each tech. Their lowest hanging fruit, quote unquote, lowest hanging fruit were e-commerce, tech, and travel companies. These strategies worked. Nykaa, Decathlon, and if I am correct, Rentomojo became their early adopters. So they targeted the lowest hanging fruit, which were obviously e-commerce, tech, and travel companies, and they hit the jackpot. They got their first early tech startups. Customer acquisition and growth. Once the market product fit was clear, Verlu focused on growth. This first step was building a strong website, which acted as company's resume. Instead of boarding marketing, they used focused strategies like content creation, webinars, social media campaigns, retargeting, and amount-based marketing. They also embedded their own chatbot on their website so potential customers could experience the product live. So understanding the buying committee, then experimentation, the mantra. The mantra was basically marketing at Verloop was built on experimentation. For example, when they entered South Asia market, their first campaign failed, but they quickly learned, they pivoted, they repackaged their product as a startup program with basic features at lowest cost and tied up with incubators and startup events. This move was very successful and added almost 50% to the annual revenues. So demand generation and channel. Verloop used multiple channels for demand generation. LinkedIn was the strongest channel for lead conversion, but it worked best when supported by the nature campaigns like email flows, customer stories, and retargeting. Interestingly, different regions required different channels, right? India worked well with content and conference, Middle East with LinkedIn, and South Asia with paid search. Globally, SEO and referrals remained evergreen. So they cracked the SEO. SEO stand for, I think, search engine optimization. Before ChatGPT, SEOs used to exist, using which if you had certain keywords in your website would appear at the top of the search engine. That's basically called search engine optimization, and companies pay a lot to have this optimization. Right. So what's Verloop today? Today Verloop is invested around, let me check, the market was around $2.5 million, a pretty good amount in developing bots that understand over 20 languages. They plan to expand into Europe and US. In 2021, Verloop was ranked among LinkedIn's topmost startups in India. Currently, they have over 100 employees and are rapidly scaling their team. So, conclusion is, in short, Verloop's journey shows how identifying the right problem, pivoting at the right time, attacking the right market, and relentlessly experimenting can turn a startup into a global player. Thank you and have a nice day.